Imagine you are standing on a shoreline watching waves crash against the rocks. Over centuries, the relentless tide erodes the stone, shaping it into something new. At what exact moment does the rock cease to be what it was and become something else? If reality is built on gradual change, then does anything truly exist as a fixed state? This is the Sorites paradox, and today, we're exploring it through the lens of metaphysics, the very nature of existence itself. Is a person the same as they were a decade ago? Are we the same as we were yesterday? If everything is changing, does anything truly remain? Metaphysics seeks to understand the fundamental nature of reality. The Sorites paradox suggests that change is constant, making it impossible to define fixed states of existence. If all things exist in a state of flux, then can we say anything exists in an absolute sense? Or is permanence merely an illusion? A classic example of metaphysical vagueness is the ship of Theseus. Suppose a ship has its wooden planks replaced one by one until none of the original pieces remain. Is it still the same ship? Now imagine reconstructing the original planks into a second ship. Which one is truly the ship of Theseus? The same applies to human identity. Over time, our cells regenerate, our memories shift, and our beliefs evolve. Are we the same person? Or do we simply believe in an illusion of continuity? Visual cue: a time-lapse of a wooden ship being replaced plank by plank, fading into an image of a person aging over time. If you remove one grain from a heap, it's still a heap. But continue removing grains and at some point it ceases to be one. If existence depends on gradual change, does reality itself have fixed boundaries? Quantum physics parallel. In quantum mechanics, particles do not have fixed states until observed. If even the fabric of reality is in flux, how can we claim that anything exists in a definite form? Buddhist philosophy. The concept of Anatta, no self, suggests that the self is not a fixed entity, but a continuous process of change. The Sorites paradox aligns with this, questioning whether we ever possess a singular, unchanging identity. Visual cue: show an animated heap of sand disappearing grain by grain, transitioning into atoms shifting unpredictably in a quantum field. What if reality is not made up of things but of patterns? Consider a whirlpool. It maintains a recognizable form, yet the water composing it is always changing. Likewise, our bodies, identities, and even the universe itself might not be things, but ever-changing patterns. Eastern philosophy parallel. The Taoist idea of constant flow, Wu Wei, suggests that trying to define fixed realities is futile. All is movement, all is transformation. Scientific perspective. Some physicists argue that the universe is not made of matter, but of fields of energy in motion. If all we perceive as solid is just dynamic patterns, then is reality itself just a shifting illusion? Visual cue: an animated whirlpool that maintains its shape while the water constantly changes, symbolizing the illusion of stable identity. Some argue that despite gradual change, categories still hold meaning. A river remains a river even as the water within it flows. We still recognize objects and people, despite their transformation. Does defining change as an illusion overlook the fact that structures persist despite flux? Another perspective suggests that change and identity coexist, that even if our cells regenerate, a continuity of memory and experience links us across time. Visual cue: a river changing course over centuries but still recognizable as the same river. The Sorites paradox forces us to confront an unsettling truth. If all things are in a state of flux, then perhaps nothing is truly permanent. But rather than fearing this impermanence, what if we embraced it? Maybe existence isn't about finding a fixed reality, but about flowing with the ever-changing nature of being. Maybe we are not things, but transformations, endless patterns in motion. Punch-up. Conclusion. Maybe reality isn't about discovering what's real. It's about learning to dance with the illusion, because perhaps the biggest illusion of all is that anything was ever permanent. What do you think? Is reality just a shifting illusion, Or is there something truly fixed beneath all this change? Let's discuss in the comments.